Hello and welcome to the Big Match Series. भाई लोग क्या हाल है? What's happening? I hope all of you are doing well on this boring Monday evening. And we had such a cracking game week yesterday, on Saturday and Sunday. Yeah, it was absolutely brilliant game week. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you have had as much fun while watching football as much I did or we did, because we did two watch-alongs. One for the United game, United's first game. Again, it was a big game for Manchester United. And second was Liverpool Man City game. Again, another. I mean, it wasn't exactly a great game of football. It was quite boring for the neutrals. But I mean, the last 15 minutes made up for what an absolute garbage of a game it was. Because what happened in the last 5-10 minutes of the game, it was like it was something I had never seen before. Uh, the entire howler with goal for the second goal or the third goal, disallowed third goal. I mean, it was something I had never seen before. It was absolute bonkers, absolute bonkers. I don't know what the fuck was happening in that game. Hey, hi, Sunny. What's happening, man? I see you're online. I hope you're doing well. I hope you had which team do you support, Sunny? Yeah, this is very true. As a United fan, it was absolute LOL. And me and Rohit, both of us United fan, and another friend of ours, Deepak Matthew, he joined us for the watch along. And Deepak is an Arsenal fan. So three of us, I mean, he was a bit anxious, as per him, that it's not over until it's over. But me and Rohit are pretty certain, or in fact, I'm pretty certain that Arsenal are going to win the league. But yeah, it was quite a strange game because in the first half, City were dominating Liverpool, and despite the fact that City were not even that good. And in the second half, Liverpool were dominating City, despite Liverpool not being that good. I mean, the lack of quality in the game, considering 2 years back, when you had Jurgen Klopp as Liverpool manager, the gulf in quality back in 2024 and now, it's astonishing. It's absolutely astonishing. It's not as if the game did not have good players. Liverpool have so many good players. Liverpool have Saha, you have Florian Wirtz, you have Szoboszlai. And I feel a bit bad for Szoboszlai, to be very honest. Just hold on. After a while, yeah, Sunny is an Arsenal fan. After a while, a ref decision which benefited neither team. It was a bonkers decision. I just don't understand what the fuck was he trying to do. And later, as per the rule of the law, it turns out the decision was fair. But it is, I mean, the entertainment, they are completely sucking out all the entertainment in football. In my opinion, the goal should have stood. But again, I'm just a moron on the internet. But still, it was a bonkers decision. I don't know what the fuck they were trying to do. Now, Southland Mrs. Sunderland away and Sunderland are unbeaten at away. Some Sunderland are unbeaten home, I think, Sunny, not away. And Slot must be on thin ice now. So I personally think Arne Slot will not be a Liverpool manager next season because there are lot. I mean, lot is happening at Liverpool right now. The, in my opinion, the biggest issue Liverpool have is, again, I always go back. I always think that it is always a good idea to go back 2-3 years back to see what exactly happened to get the clear idea of the present. Now, Liverpool are struggling. It is quite clear. Everyone knows that they are struggling. They have been losing games left, right, and center. In my opinion, what Slot tried to do, or what Slot did so well last season, that he did not try to change, did not try to make too many changes to that the Jurgen Klopp's team, which was so set. In 2023-24, Jurgen Klopp signed so many players. He signed Szoboszlai, he signed Endo, he signed Gravenberch, he signed someone else. Who did he sign? Someone else. Another player he signed. McAllister he signed. And for it, it took some time for them to get adjusted. They hit the ground running. After that, they needed some time. After that, they went off their form, went off the cliff in March of 2024. And last season, what Arne Slot did so well was he did not try to make too many changes. He realized that he already had a very good team. He just added an element of control to that team. So last season, Liverpool had so much control. They kept the ball. You had someone like McAllister who was so good at controlling games, who was so good at controlling games. They had so many players playing so well. I think it was probably Salah's best season at Liverpool. Salah was fantastic. Gravenberch was fantastic. So you had so many players playing well at the time. Now, this season, what Arne Slot tried to do, in my opinion, he wanted to make the team his own. He wanted Liverpool to play the kind of football he wanted to play, or rather, he wanted his team to play. And he made too many changes. It's complete. It's not entirely down to him, in my opinion. It's mainly down to the director of football, Michael Edwards. Now, when you have good signings, it's always the plaudits always go to Michael Edwards. But when the signings are struggling, uh, how is this just Slot's fault? It is quite clear that Arne Slot, his in-game management, it's not up to the mark. It's quite clear about that. We should be clear about that. But at the same time, it's a collective effort. If Michael Edward gets all the plaudits for when signings are played well, I mean, after the summer transfer window, the tone of the conversation in general was that this is Liverpool season. This is Liverpool's season to lose. And what they did not have at the time was they needed a good centre back. And because Gomez is always injured, Konate, his head was turned due to probably due to Real Madrid's approach. So that's that. So Liverpool were struggling, and in my opinion, this is going to be Arne Slot's final season. All right. For me, the funny thing was that he brought Chiesa after the second goal. I mean, his in-game management has been quite questionable, right? You can always question his in-game management. At the same time, I don't think Liverpool will sack him right away. Just like all the clubs, they will wait till the season gets over, because after the World Cup, especially the World Cup, because at the World Cup you have so many great managers. You have Pochettino, you have Ancelotti, you have Julian Nagelsmann. So you have so many good players who are managing in the World Cup. You have Thomas Tuchel. So in my opinion, Liverpool, just like a lot of see, what happens is what something Man United did was they decided to get rid of Ruben Amorim, and they had someone like Michael Carrick who was ready to do that interim role, and that is because of probably Michael Carrick did a decent job at Borough. You always have Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, who is never going to say no to Manchester United job. So you had two candidate, and to be fair to Ole, he did a decent job at Manchester United. So for an interim role, they already had two candidates available who were not going to. See, if they have a United job, they're not going to take any other job. It was that clear. So that I mean, that went in United's favor. When it comes to Liverpool, if they decide to sack Arne Slot now, I personally don't know who will be in charge of Liverpool. I don't know who will play that interim role. I have no idea about that. So just in case you guys know from Liverpool transfers or something like that, let me know. Yeah, Vinay, Liverpool will do well with Salah, Van Dijk gone next season, whether Slot is the coach or Xavi. Uh, See, a player like Van Dijk, and he's clearly struggling right now, but he is always a good player to have. So, and see, this is something I don't want to start my step record of Alex Ferguson's Manchester United, but so one thing for Alex Ferguson was so good at is he kept all the experience around. He always kept the experienced players around. He convinced them to, and he was a master communicator. What he made sure of that, he convinced them, or he communicated this well in advance, that you're not going to play each and every game, but there will be a lot of important games where I will need you. And this is something I don't see many managers doing. So someone like Van Dijk, who has been one of the best defenders in the league for sure, one of the best defenders in the world, Liverpool could use that experience. Just imagine a new defender coming in and he doesn't have an experienced defender by his side. We don't know what's going to happen with Konate. So, in my opinion, I think Van Dijk, they could do, I think they should be fine if Salah leaves. Salah is struggling anyway. And if they are trying to build a new team, they have decent players with whom they can build, they have decent players to build that team around. I think Salah leaving will not be that big an issue. Of course, it will be an issue. I'm not saying it will be an easy, it will be a transition period. But if they have to let go of one player out of Salah and Van Dijk, in my opinion, it should be Salah. But they need Van Dijk around at least for a couple of years. To be honest, Slot has been little unlucky with injuries as well. Two of the signings, Frimpong and Isak have been injured a lot. Ekitike has done well, and we're just picking up. See, but I think when it comes to injury, every club has been hampered by injuries, right? That could be down to too much football. That could be down to something else. I am not really sure of that. Maybe because of it, because of the intensity in football. Because the intensity in Premier League is too much. Just imagine Tottenham, who are struggling, and they are just thrashing Dortmund, who's second in Bundesliga in the Champions League. They completely annihilated Frankfurt, which is eighth in the Bundesliga, or at least it was eight before last week. So I don't know. So every manager has been unlucky with injuries. There was a point when United had too many injuries. Thomas Frank is the prime example. He had so many injuries, man. So I'm not really sure it is just injuries. There is something amiss with Arne Slot and Liverpool right now. And I don't think he will be there as a Liverpool manager next season. Yes, and man, what's happening? Did you watch? I mean, yeah, it was a crazy game, right? It was an absolutely brilliant game. But again, I still feel Arsenal will win the league. Tell me what you feel, man. You still think we can't make a comeback and win the league this year? Shiva, I mean, if you're talking about Manchester United, of course, I keep gaslighting people on Instagram saying that we are going to win the league. Of course, I don't believe that. When it comes to Man City, I don't think Man City will win the league. I really don't think they will win the league. And I'll give you I'll just give you an example of that. Just give me a bit. Title race is so on, same for top five. I predict Liverpool to not qualify. Yeah, even I don't think if this keeps up, Liverpool will not qualify. I think the top five will remain more or less the same. It will be Arsenal and Man City, followed by United, Chelsea, Aston Villa. I think Villa are still. I mean, of course, Villa. We expected Villa to drop off, right? They don't. Their squad is not as they don't have that much squad depth as much as say Man United, Liverpool, or Arsenal. So we fully expected Villa to drop off, but I think it will be Arsenal and City for the first and second place. And 3, 4, 5, you never know. I think I still think that the top five will remain the same. The top two will definitely remain the same, and 3, 4, 5. I think it will be United, Chelsea, and Villa. I'm not really sure in what order. Could be three United, four Chelsea, or three Chelsea, four United. But you know, given how much time David talks about the team and how they should play, he should put his money where the mouth. Uh, see, Carragher. I see the thing with a lot of these pundits is if you listen to them, completely different scenario. And Abhishek made this point the first time that Carragher is really good on CBS. I've heard Carragher ages ago on there is a podcast, but it was what it was. It's a football history podcast. And I haven't heard it in a long, long time. But Carragher on that podcast was talking about uh, some old manager. Who was it? Some old manager. But the way, I mean, the kind of football, so much football he watches, he really studies the game a lot. He reads a lot about football. So he knows of football. I mean, we can't say that Jamie Carragher doesn't understand football. It's always fun to, I mean, I enjoy making fun of him because at times he just talks out of his ass. Especially the comment about Casemiro. I'm not against criticizing players. But the way Semi Carragher went on and say that you should leave football before football leaves you, it was absolutely ridiculous comment. You're talking about one of the greatest players of all time, one of the greatest midfielders of all time. He should just he should just take a chill pill, to be very honest. So this is something I get annoyed with Carragher about. So that's that. Yeah, Jake, Leone and VBD experience will be vital for their defense. Salah, if he leaves, needs like to start replacement because he helped played without a backup. Very true. But I think Van Dijk's. I mean, I agree with you about this, Sam. That Liverpool need Van Dijk. You always need to have a experience around the corner. See what's happening with Manchester United, or what happened with Manchester. What has been happening with Manchester United for the past decade. You do not have players. And this the same thing happened with Rashford, right? Manchester United did not have an experienced player in the team who could just put arm around Rashford and tell him to calm down. We did not have Rio. We did not have Wayne Rooney. We did not have that players with that profile. And experience will always be the key when you have young players. So yeah, I agree with you, Sam. City beat Liverpool in both meet after. Is that oh really? Is that the first time since 1936? Oh my god! So it's been 90 years to be precise. I did not know this. Yesterday's game was really entertaining. See, yesterday's game was, see, of course, we were doing a watch along and Sam was there, of course. And it was, of course, we were having a good time while watching it. But as a neutral, for probably for, for an hour, it was quite a boring game. It was really jarring to watch. And later, as Liverpool scored, all of a sudden it became entertaining. And then the City scored, and City scored. City defeated Liverpool, and of course, I was really happy. I cannot stand Liverpool at all. I'm a diehard United fan, of course. So it became entertaining. But as a neutral, the game was quite jarring to watch. Nothing was happening. It was a game. It was an entertaining 30 minutes between two teams that were absolutely terrible. I don't know if this makes sense, but yeah, I really think Liverpool should have gone for Gehi over the jacket. I mean, it's I did not I don't know how Liverpool did not have a replacement for Gehi in the summer. It's quite unlike Liverpool, right? Liverpool, when it comes to players, they always sign players based on data, and a lot of their signings have turned out to be turned out to be good. So I'm not really sure why they did not have a replacement for Marquez. I have no idea of that. So that was see, even with Gay at Liverpool, I don't think they would have challenged for the title, considering so many issues they have right now. Now they don't even have Szoboszlai, who, in my opinion, has been Liverpool's best player. So yeah, I mean it's fun to watch as a United fan, but still, you think Slot will be a candidate? United? Are you saying that? Avina, are you saying Slot should be a candidate for Manchester United? I'm a bit confused. Look at United. Look at he's sacked, and who do you think will be the prime candidate for Manchester United? And I've always maintained that we need someone with big personality. It's a stupidly big club to manage, a ridiculous club to manage. So I would always prefer someone like Thomas Tuchel or say Luis Enrique. Whether or not we are going to get this is a different story altogether. But we need someone with big personality. I'll always say that. Uh, Paul Scholes too is one of the biggest clowns out there. Anyways, Tonali to United links are picking some shit. I will be very happy if Tonali joins Manchester United. I absolutely love Tonali. See, thing with Paul Scholes and all of these guys is when they are doing the podcast. See, Paul Scholes is a local lad. When they are doing he's doing the podcast with Nicky Butt and Paddy McGuinness. All of these guys are from Greater Manchester area. So basically, they all are Mancunian. It is just like me, Rohit, and Abhishek just talking shit. But they don't understand the kind of influence you have. If Paul Scholes says something, I'm going to listen to him. Not me. Every football fan, or at least every fan of English football, is going to listen to him. And when he makes at times such outlandish claims, it does not help. It doesn't help. To be very honest, it doesn't help. See, you can have an opinion. I will always take Paul Scholes' opinion seriously about players, certain players. So when he talks about midfielders, I will always take it seriously. I might not agree with him, but we are talking about one of the most intelligent players of his time and one of the greatest midfielders of all time. So I will always take that seriously. But again, just like a lot of players, even his opinions are getting really, really jarring. Credit to Sabasla, one player single-handedly keeping slot in the job and might be just be the best free kick taker in the world. Yeah, his free kicks are amazing, right? This is his second free kick, and, which is absolutely brilliant. And he always puts in a shift. And I feel really bad for the poor guy. He's playing as a right back despite being Liverpool's best midfielder, at least the most informed Liverpool midfielder right now. I feel bad for the guy. Yes, 90 years gives lot of lifetime contract. Yeah, I know. I know that you're being sarcastic, but yeah. I watched your shot on Carrick. Completely agree. It is very difficult situation, but in a good way. Yeah, and thanks, man. But that's the thing, right? I'll definitely talk about it, about the Carrick situation right now. But before that, I just want to talk. I'll just walk you through something, and I'll share my screen. What I did is I was just going through some of Man City's lineups in the past. Just hold on. Give me a moment, guys. Okay, let me share my screen. Uh, just hold on. I think you should be able to see this. What I'll do is yeah. Let me know if you are not able to see this, guys, but I think you should be able to do this. You should be able to see this. I'm just going to then. This is the point I always make. See, what we do at times is we get too much into the micro analysis instead of getting macro analysis. And I think the macro analysis is something which will always give you the answers. Now, if you look at Man City's starting lineup, of course you have Donnarumma, one of the greatest goalkeepers in the league right now, someone who has won the Euros. Now you have Nunes, you have Kusnau, you have Gehi, and you have Etnori. Now look at the back four. Now compare this with, say, okay, let me know if you are able to see this properly. Yeah. Compare this back four with the back four Man City had in 2024. I'm just picking. I just picked the FA Cup final because United won. But Manchester City won the league title in that season. You had Guardiola, you have Ake, you have Nathan Ake, you have Stones, and you have Walker. So you had four center backs who had been there and done that, who were multiple Premier League winners. You have Guardiola, someone like Guardiola, who reached the World Cup semi-final. You had Walker, who has been, in my opinion, one of the greatest Premier League right backs. You have John Stones. I mean, John Stones is one of those underrated centre backs, right? He always does well. But still, he's never in the talks of being being the best centre backs in the world. But he always does well. So you had this four. You had, of course, Ortega. Of course, I will not consider Ortega, but at the time they still had Edison. Now you check, you check the center midfield. You had Semenyo, Rodri, Aureli, and Silva. Out of these players, now compare this with this center midfield. You have Kovacic, Rodri, you have Silva, and Ford. Now, out of these four players, Semenyo and Aureli, they have never been involved in a title run. Aureli is too young. Semenyo, and in my opinion, he's a fantastic player, but he has never been involved in a title run. Now you have Haaland and you have Marmoush. Of course, we know about Haaland. Now compare this team with Haaland and De Bruyne. When Haaland is playing ahead of De Bruyne, he's a different animal. And again, he's playing well this season, except for the last 4 to 5 games. He has been a monster this season. But when you have seven players who have not been involved in a title run, it takes a lot on you, and they are going to make mistakes. See, I think again, uh, there is a book called Lead It. I don't know if it is, I think it should be somewhere here. But it's in my opinion, Alex Ferguson's best book. And every football fan should read it because it's not just about the United way and Manchester United. Ferguson has sort of what it's like his diary when he talks about what made him great. And one thing Alex Ferguson talks in that book about is he always says that every squad or every team has an expiry period of 4 years. Now, this Man City team, is at the moment, in my opinion, is not good enough to win the title. Now, there are lots of talks about Arsenal fumbling it, Arsenal bottling it. I personally don't think Arsenal ever bottled it. In 2023, Arsenal were in the same situation Man City are right now. At the time, their squad was young. Their team was never involved in the title run. And when something like this happens, it takes a lot on the players because they are going to make mistakes. You go back, I mean, see, Premier League started in 1992, and if you go through each and every season, you will realize, except for the Leicester City of 2015-16 title race, every team that wins the title race or every team that wins the title, they they have always been involved in the title race before that. Be it Manchester United, 92-93 United won, they were involved in the title race a season before that. Let's talk about Arsenal. Arsenal team 97-98, they needed their time in 95, in 96-97. When Arsenal won in 2001-2, they spent 3 seasons, 99, 2000, 2001, they were second in the league. And as I said, it takes time. Now, you can also make an argument. Last season, Manchester City's team, they looked really jaded. They looked ridiculously tired. And I think there's a reason for it. It's extremely difficult to maintain the form that they did. Winning 4 league titles in a row is something that has never been done in English football. United has never done it. Arsenal has never done it. Liverpool has never done it in the past. But Man City did. And after that fourth season, I feel it gets very difficult for players to maintain the same level of intensity, especially you have and one of the most intense managers of all time managing you. So I think that was a huge. See, they reached an incredible high, and after that, low was bound to come. Low was always bound to come. Just look at what happened with Manchester United after winning 3 titles in a row. They won it in 99, 2000, 2001, and 2002. Their form just went off the cliff. Same happened in even though in 2009-10, because United won in 7, 8, and 9, 3 seasons in a row, the next season they could not. They lost the league just by a point, but still, it's very hard to maintain the kind of intensity that Pep Guardiola did, uh, or he has done in last 7, 8 years. So I think that is one of the reasons I think Man City are not going to win the league. First is they don't have too many players who are starting right now because there are too many injuries right now. You have John Stones is injured, Guardiola is injured, Kovacic is injured, Doku is injured, and Semenyo is injured. So they have 5 injuries, and out of all the players, now look at the bench. They have Rico Lewis on the bench, Nico Gonzalez on the bench. You have Phil Foden again. Phil Foden is again the player who has been through that grind. But Tijani Reinders, his first season in the Premier League. So they will need their time. Again, Ryan Cherki, his first season in the Premier League. Ruben Diaz, he's not fully fit. Nathan Ake, he's not playing each and every game. So they need some more time. This team, it's quite clear that Guardiola is trying to build the next team. And it might take some time. It might. I don't know if he will need another season for this or not. But still, this season, I just don't see City winning the league. Not at all. First is Arsenal are too good. And even if Arsenal bottled it, I don't like that word because I don't think teams bottle it. But even though Arsenal say throw it away and they start fumbling. I don't think City will. Well, I mean, two months back or 3 months back, I thought City will start breathing down their neck, but I don't think that will happen now. Again, I'm just going through their team that won the Champions League final. Oh, oops, where did the team go? Yeah, just look at this team: Ederson, Ake, Diaz, Akanji. You have Rodri and Stones. Rodri is not in a good form right now. Probably after injury, his form is never been the same. You in attack, you have Grealish, you have Silva, you have, of course, you have Haaland, you have Gundogan, and you have De Bruyne. So I think their drop off, looking back, is quite expected. In hindsight, it is expected. So I don't think City are going to win the league. It's the title is still Arsenal's to lose, and even if Arsenal start dropping points, I don't think there is another team who can match them or who can chase them. Of course, I keep talking about United in the being in the title race on Instagram. I don't believe it at all. So yeah, that's that. Just hold on. Let me stop. All right. Let me go to some comments. Not second has scored 4-5 against Arsenal, Bournemouth, Marcel, and one more, I guess. Who are you referring to, Sunny? I'm actually a bit confused. Pundits should learn how to phrase their reviews better. Yeah, agree. 100% agree. So, Rohit, I think a couple of watch alongs back said that it seems Nicky Butt and Paul Scholes, they have signed a contract with some company that is known to sort of draw traffic online by talking or stating your outrageous views, something like that. Some digital agency. So maybe this could be by design. This could be by design. Do you think United need a new right back? Dallo isn't particularly dependable. Mazarawi isn't a. I agree with you. We need a good right back. See, I like Dallo. I think. See, Dallo is one of those players who at times he gets slammed for no reason whatsoever. I mean, for no reason whatsoever. I think United need a new right back. United need a new modern right back. Not. See, I liked Van Bissaka, but it was quite clear that he shouldn't have been signed for United in the first place. Manchester United need modern signings. I mean, I don't know what these guys are doing. I think if you talk about the areas on the pitch, I think center midfield, that is an absolute must. We need center midfield signings. We have needed them since Carrick retired in 2018. And center midfield and fullbacks. These two we need at any cost. Sabotla is the reason is one of the reasons why Liverpool are competing in top four. Agreed. Otherwise, a very bad situation for Liverpool. Yesterday's performance one of the worst I've seen. Absolutely, it was one of the. It was one of the. I mean, two very good teams in the sense considering the players they have. Two teams filled with quality, playing absolutely atrocious football. So yeah, it was horrible. You think if we sacked Tavares at the start, we might have been in the title race? No, I don't think so. No, I don't think so. See, क्या क्या होता है ना कि what I feel is we look at results in isolation. We should not do that. There is no point in doing that. Now, since Michael Carrick is managing Manchester United, the rebounds is a huge factor because for last 18 months, Manchester United, or 18 months or whatever months, I think 15 months, Manchester United were managed by a manager who was really conservative. They played one of the most atrocious brands of football I've seen any United team play. After that, there was always going to be some rebound. But by that, I'm not saying Carrick is not doing a good job. Carrick doesn't seem a reactionary manager. Michael Carrick sets his teams up really well. I think Carrick is a good manager. I'm not really sure about his credential as a potential United manager next season, but I still think Carrick is a decent manager. He's a good manager. But no, I don't think we have a good enough squad. We don't have good midfielders. We have very good attackers, but not good midfielders. So no, I don't think we would have. It's no. It's like a lot of people think that. I absolutely love Solskjaer, but when we signed Ronaldo, and that season, there's it. I mean, it turned shit right away. A lot of people think had we not signed Ronaldo, we would have won the league that season. I think had we not signed Ronaldo, we would have finished third. But there was no way we are going to win the league. City and Liverpool were just brilliant that season. There was no way we are going to win the league. And similarly, even I don't think with see it depends on if you think that except for instead of Carrick, had we signed someone like Tuchel, we would be in much better place. But title challenge, I don't think so. 100%, sorry. Carabao final between Arsenal and City might just become more important than ever. 100%. And this is something we talked about yesterday during watching. As I said, I don't think City will win the league. But last night's results was a huge moral booster for them. It was a huge moral booster. Now, just imagine a scenario if they keep up their form. Okay, if they keep winning, and see, Arsenal have a couple of difficult games. Let me check Arsenal's next 5 games. Just give me a minute, guys. Uh, they're playing Chelsea and Spurs. When are they playing Chelsea and Spurs? Okay, so their next 5 games are Brentford away, Wigan in the FA Cup. I think that shouldn't matter much. Wolves away. That shouldn't matter much. But after that comes Tottenham, North London derby. Now, considering the way Tottenham are playing right now, they have been absolutely atrocious. And of course, I want to talk about Thomas Frank and Tottenham right after this. But the way Tottenham have been playing right now, I mean, it seems the game is Arsenal to lose. But again, this is a North London derby. Anything can happen in North London derby. Tottenham against Man City, they were excellent against City in the second half. They were decent against Burnley in the second half. If not for Romero red card, I think I still think United would have won that game, but it wouldn't have been that easy. Now just imagine a scenario if Thomas Frank is sacked. If Thomas Frank is sacked, a new manager joins them, and if by any chance there is a new manager bounce, there is a possibility that Arsenal might not be able to win that game. There is a possibility of that happening. After that, Arsenal go to Chelsea. Again, I think Arsenal, again, it's Chelsea come to Arsenal. So again, the the game is Arsenal's to lose. Chelsea are a very good team and they can surprise you. But I still think Arsenal might be able to win that game. Again, sure, again, you never know, maybe a couple of weeks after, I might feel differently about this game. But still, then you have Brighton away. Again, Brighton is a good team, but they're dropping points at times. They drop points at times. They play good football, but they are prone to losing some even easy games. I don't know what will happen. Again, I expect Arsenal to win that game. Then they are playing Everton. After that, the Everton game is at on 15th March, and on the 22nd of March, Arsenal play Man City. Now let's check Man City's games. Uh, okay, in last 5 games, City have drawn 1 and won 4. City are playing Fulham. They are playing Salford. Getting this is getting in the Salford City, right? Yeah, so they are playing Salford. They're playing Newcastle. They're playing Leeds away, Forest away, Crystal Palace. See, out of these points, one Fulham, Newcastle, Man City, Forest, West Ham, and Crystal Palace. Out of these 6 games, I expect City to take at least 14 points. I genuinely feel so. I don't know what will happen against Fulham. Considering the game is in Manchester, there's a good chance that City might win that game. So they might pick 14 points from that 6 games. I'm not expecting them to lose at all. And then they play Arsenal and say they are just 3 points away from Arsenal in the title race. this game might turn out to be, as Sunny rightly said, and we discussed it yesterday, this game might turn out to be one of the most important games of the season. This game might turn out to be that. I don't, again, if you go back to 2007-8 season, I go back to past seasons because patterns always repeat. What happened in 2007-8 season was there was a point when Man United were 5 points behind Arsenal in February. Then they played Arsenal in the FA Cup. It was 4-0 game. United completely tonked Arsenal. And then that Eduardo injury, it was a horrible injury that happened. But then William Gallas, I literally cried like a bitch on the pitch. I don't want to say it in that way, but yeah, this is exactly what he did. And then Arsenal started dropping points. Now the situation back then was different. That team was young. This team isn't. I get that if Man City win the EFL Cup, or if they win the League Cup, they will all of a sudden have a huge moral booster, and questions will be start. Now this entire thing depends on how Arteta conducts himself, right? When people say that that Arsenal are bottling it, I don't understand why are people targeting Arsenal players. This is down to the manager. So yeah, I agree that this will be a very important game. But if Arsenal have say 6 points lead during that game, I still think they'll be okay. Is late game management the most undercoached phase of Premier League football? Like in the last match we have seen, and in whole late goals were more than usual. What do you think? See, I always say that I'm just a moron on the internet. I don't know why that happens. We need to understand why that happens. And I think your observation is right. But we need to understand why that happens. And as a layman, I have no idea. I can read something online and tell you guys, but I have no understanding of 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 what players go through or what managers go through when they are managing from a touchline. One thing I feel is what happens a lot of times is players, not many players make their own decisions on the pitch now. It's always managers feeds them something. They're giving them instructions constantly. And this is something I agree with Paul Scholes. Not exactly agree, but this is the Paul Scholes' point is valid, that he says that if I get constant instructions on the pitch, it does my head in. And that makes sense. Because you have a player, someone like Paul Scholes, who was an instinctive player, who had a great vision. He needed some time for himself to think about what he's going to do on the pitch. And a lot of players don't do that anymore. So there might be the case that, say, Alex Ferguson and Arsene Wenger, their in-game management is not working at the time. But since players, they can think by themselves, a lot of time they just make a late goal, or they could make a late goal back then. Nowadays, I am not really sure. I don't know why that's the case. And you guys, please feel free to disagree and let me know what your views are. Bruno Fernandes would have been one step closer to 20 assist record. Yeah, I mean, that's fine, right? I mean, I'll be happy if Bruno gets 21 assists, but it doesn't matter. He's been one of the best players in the league ever since he joined the league. So that doesn't matter. Even if he doesn't get that gap record, it's absolutely fine. I wouldn't care. Sorry. Dallo is too inconsistent. Agree. He is too inconsistent. See, he is like a nanny. Honestly, he's absolutely brilliant when he's not things are not going well. He's just atrocious. United need a left back as well. Yeah. United need fullbacks. Period. We need good modern fullbacks. It is that simple. Yeah, hearing rumors of Tonali to United. Yeah, well, I would be really happy if Tonali joins Manchester United. I'm a huge fan. He's a fantastic player. Hey, Shonashu, man, what's happening? Quickly dropping in to say hi, insane end to the game last night. Yeah, it was a fantastic game. I was really happy after Haaland scored. And yeah, well, that bonkers moment. And as someone said sometime back, that I mean, I mean, that decision did not help anyone. Also, can people stop saying that we'd be in the title race had Amarim been shown the door earlier? Our squad is simply not good enough to wind the challenge over the course of an. Agreed. Unless until see, you look at every team that wins the league, one player they always have is someone who can dictate the tempo of the game. I must have said this 1,000 times. I don't want to bore you more, but this is what it is. Unless until you have a player who can control games, Manchester United are not going to win the league. As simple as that. You are winning the league this season, second half invincibles. Don't worry, Carrick is back to it. Yeah, I hope so, man. I hope so. Gary Neville or Vidic? In what regard, Akhilesh? I'm not getting this. We will be good over a stretch here and there, but with this squad, especially without a profit midfielder over the course of an interseason, not possible. Simply not possible. I completely agree with you, Shuranshu. Uh, Pretty much the reason we have won a couple of cups in the past few seasons, but have been nowhere near anything close to a title challenge. Agree. No, we don't have good midfielders. Unless until we have good midfielders and good fullbacks, we are not going to win the league. It is that simple. What to say? I want to say that I'm more confident this season than previous 2, 3 seasons, mainly because of squad depth and experience. As always, everywhere I say, most important is focus and confidence. I think, yeah, I mean, Arsenal will win the league. Arsenal will win the league. I mean, I'm 100%, I'm confident of that. And about mainly, let me repeat this. It is not just about Arsenal playing really well. Arsenal have the best squad in the league, but at the same time, other teams are struggling. And even with City at their best, I think Arsenal still would have won the league, but still they are struggling. So I think the title is Arsenal's to lose. North London Derby, Carabao Cup, and Chelsea game will determine how badly we want to win. Mainly confidence. Yeah, Cup mainly when confidence increase. We need 15-15 in the next 5 weeks. Yeah, fair enough. Carabao Cup is Arsenal's finals to lose. It's their final in years. Their first final in years. So sorry, first opportunity to win the trophy. I mean, it will be a huge confidence booster, right? If they win. Is it Arsenal's first final since the FA Cup 2020? I think so. I don't think Arsenal have reached the final after that. So yeah, it's a huge game for everyone. But yeah, let's see what happens. I don't think, yeah, agree. At least it will be if Arsenal fail to win the league, which I don't think will happen, but if they fail to win the league, it will be one of the biggest bottle jobs ever. Seriously. I don't believe in bottling the league title and that kind of stuff. I don't think Arsenal bottled the league title in 23 or 24. But if they don't win it this year, it will be a huge, massive bottle job. You keep going to past season because that's your fucking job. Yeah, agreed. That's my fucking job. I'm a nostalgia merchant when it comes to see, not just football. I love watching old movies. I love watching. I mean, I'm into classic rock. I love vintage cricket. So I am sort of a vintage man. Do you see Villa finishing in the top 4, 5? I think they can do that. I think they can do that. They have a good squad to reach the top 4 or top 5. They don't have a good enough squad to win the league, but they can definitely reach the top 4 or top 5. I think so. I really think so. I seriously don't know what's wrong at Spurs. Seems like the last season only shit in the league, excellent in Europe. Europe, they keep clean sheets in 6 games out of 8. And this is a good segue to talk about Spurs, right? Because I really want to get into that. Okay, just let me just go through one comment. Treble, man. See, winning treble is really difficult, man. Very, very difficult. Especially when you're doing it for the first, not exactly. If Arsenal I'm pretty sure every Arsenal fan would sacrifice. They won't mind losing to Man City, losing to going out of the Champions League in the next round, or losing the FA Cup against Wigan, if it means they are going to win the league. I don't think any Arsenal fan would mind that. They have a fantastic squad, but see, when you do it for the first time, you're always going to be nervous. There will the phase. It is a squeaky one time. It will always be a nervy phase. So yeah, It's about that. And yeah, I really want to talk about Spurs. And a lot of people are talking about Thomas Frank and the job that he is doing, and the club might be too big for him. But see, you can't talk about present unless until you go and check what happened in the past. Uh, when I started watching football back in 2002-3, Spurs were a top 10 team. They were a good team. They were an entertaining team. It was, I think, it was earlier. It was uh, that what is the guy's name? And they had Glenn Hoddle as a manager. Then they had Martin Yol. Under Martin Yol, Spurs played really well. They finished fifth in one season. Then they had Harry Redknapp, and Harry Redknapp was the one who took them to the Champions League. But and then they had a good team of, say, Harry Redknapp, sorry, not Harry Redknapp, Gareth Bale. They had Van der Vaart, and all those players. So they had a really good team, and they started playing well. But it was not till 2014-15 when Spurs signed Mauricio Pochettino, they became a mega club. Before that, it was always a good club. It's a big club. Which always plays entertaining football. But when it comes to mega club, it was Mauricio Pochettino who made them a mega club. And 10 years back, in 2014, 15, 16, in that time, say 14 to 19 or 20, Pochettino was one of the best managers in the world. It was always Pep, Klopp, and Poch. Pochettino was one of the biggest names, biggest managers in the league and of the last decade. He was that good. And what Pochettino did was he got the best out of the squad he had at Tottenham. Now people think that, oh my God, they had Harry Kane, they had Ericsson, they had Dele Alli, and they had someone else. But all these players were not huge when Poch joined them. There were always thoughts about Harry Kane being one season wonder or two season wonders. It was under Pochettino he started firing. Dele Alli, they signed from MK Dons. Then they had Harry Winks, who in my opinion was a very good player. They had Christian Eriksen. Christian Eriksen was always a good player, but we did not know he was such a fantastic player. It was under Pochettino they started all that this entire group started thriving. And what Pochettino did at the time, that he made that Spurs, which was a good club, which was a big club, into a mega club. And one of the worst decisions that Daniel Levy took, and in my opinion, that is one of the worst decisions uh, in European football in the last 25 years, was to sack Pochettino. It was an atrocious decision. I simply do not understand the logic behind it. He got the best out of the squad he had. And Pochettino, despite not winning the league in 2016-17, Spurs getting 86 or 85 points in 2016-17 is one of the best achievements in the Premier League. With the wage bill they had, with the squad they had, with uh, spend they had, it was a absolutely fantastic achievement. Then what happened was, all of a sudden, from a big club to mega club, and when he took them to the Champions League final, that was the extent of that squad. Pochettino could not get more out of it. Then he needed signings, but Spurs wanted to shift to the new stadium. They did not grant him any signings. Later, he was sacked. And what Daniel Levy did was, if you're sacking a manager, the next manager you sign should complement your earlier manager. And the next manager, or Spurs' next manager, was none other than Jose Mourinho. Jose Mourinho, who had a disastrous season at Manchester United in 2008-19, 18-19, and he was sacked. So Mourinho had passed his best at the time. Still, Spurs decided to sign him because he was Jose Mourinho and he was box office. And that did not help anyone. After Mourinho, they signed Antonio Conte. Then Conte kept them competitive for a couple of seasons. After that, they signed Nuno. If you are one of the biggest clubs in England or one of the biggest clubs in Europe, you are regarded as one of the top six clubs. Doesn't really fit that profile. Spurs were always known to play entertaining, free flowing, attacking football. No, did not give you that. So I thought that was a huge mismatch. And while doing that, they lost a lot of their players. They lost Harry Kane. Last season, they lost Son. They lost Lamela. They lost Ericsson. They lost the entire team that made them what they were in that 5 year period. And they were fantastic to watch in that time. They were always good to watch. They always went toe to toe against big teams. So yeah, I mean, Pochettino deserves a huge credit for that. But after that, once you start losing each and every player, I mean, can you think of any attacking player right now who could match, say, Harry Kane, who can match Christian Eriksen, who can match Son? I mean, James Madison is a good player, but is he at that level? So I personally think it's a combination of a lot of things. Now, when you reach a certain level, last season, they won the Europa League, and kudos to that. And I think someone mentioned right now that they they are good in Europe and not in the Premier League. I think that is down to the quality of the Premier League. Last season, Manchester United were tonking Athletic Bilbao. We completely dominated Bilbao in Bilbao before losing final in Bilbao. But yeah, we completely dominated Bilbao. We completely dominated Real Sociedad. So teams in England, they have they are quicker, they are stronger, uh, they are more intense, and I personally think other teams are not. You will not. They are not able to match that intensity. See, there was a time when the league was dominated by Italian teams. Champions League was dominated by Italian teams. Then the Spanish teams. Then for a brief period, it was English teams. Now it's all the elite teams. You will not have a great story of, say, a Dynamo Kiev of '99. They almost reached the Champions League final. The famous United Bayern Munich final almost did not happen. You will not have Porto winning the Champions League now. In the same season, Monaco reached the Champions League final. Next season, AC Milan, before AC Milan and Liverpool, that final almost did not happen because PSG were playing so well. You will not have that anymore. So the team with a lot of money and a lot of resources, it will always dominate Europe. And I think that is exactly what's happening with Spurs right now, Spurs in Europe right now. Now, when we talk about after losing Postecoglou, after they signed Postecoglou, after losing Postecoglou, in my opinion, at the time, I personally felt for Thomas Frank, Spurs was a logical jump. He was a Brentford manager. Brentford, again, all the B teams are properly database teams. They are well-run clubs. But at the same time, they are the clubs that will never be super clubs. Brighton, Brentford, they will be a really good club. So I absolutely love watching Brighton. I love watching Brighton more than most teams. But they will never be super club. They will always stay in that lane because they simply cannot match the financial power of the big six or all the elite teams in Europe. Now, when you are managing a club like Brentford, and from that you go to Tottenham, so who is not as big as, say, United City, as big as, say, other five teams, because these five teams have been there and done that and won the league and Champions Leagues. Spurs have not done that, but still they are much bigger than Brentford. And I felt Thomas Frank, when he joined Tottenham. See, a lot of time, what happens is when someone is working in small companies, and all of a sudden that person joins big company, say corporate, and that person is either overwhelmed by the corporate structure, the kind of structure you have, the kind of political organization you work with, and that person is simply not able to manage it. That person doesn't like it. I think something like that is happening with Thomas Frank right now. I mean, he doesn't have great players. He has decent players, a lot of injury prone. And I mean, they have so many injuries right now. Apart from that, if you have seen his press conference after Manchester United game, he he looked really annoyed when he was presented with a question about Romero. Romero got the red card, and I think he's gotten 3 red cards this season. And when some journalist told him that, he was really, I mean, he was annoyed. And this is something you did not see with Thomas Frank and Brentford. So at times, despite a lot of, we can talk about tactics and players and all we want. But if the manager is not suited for that particular club, it's a huge challenge. Now, we also need to consider the fact that Thomas Frank was Daniel Levy's appointment. And he was, who is the family in charge right now? I forgot their name. Who in charge of Spurs right now? I forgot their name. Can someone please look up and let me know? But yeah, he, I mean, when you don't have that, you don't have that backing. Daniel Levy has been sacked. When you don't have that backing, it's very difficult to operate. And I think this is and I think this is what's happening with the Tottenham right now. So we can talk about his tactics and whatnot, but if manager doesn't feel home, it's a problem. Michael Carrick is home at Manchester United right now because he was such a great player. He's a club legend. He's adored by everyone, every fan, and he is at home at Manchester United. Whether or not he will be a great manager in a long term, it's a different issue altogether. But at least in a short term, he is home. I don't think Thomas Frank is home at Tottenham. I think that, in my opinion, that is one of his biggest issues. Okay, let me go through some comments. Okay, after we beat Arsenal at the Emirates, there was a Twitter space organized by UK Arsenal accounts for 2 days straight. जब से हारे हैं तब से दुख में खत्म ही नहीं हो रहा. Why Fernandinho is one of the most underrated Premier League players of the last decade was the player who made the attacking football sustainable. Uh, he was a fantastic player. Make no mistake about that. But the player in his profile make not just one player. The players who play that profile that make attacking football sustainable. You see someone like Sergio Busquets. Without Sergio Busquets, I mean, of course, you have Messi and Xavi, and you have Leo fucking Messi and Pep Guardiola's Barca team. But it was Sergio Busquets was one of their important players. You can make the same parallels. I don't. He that profile is what makes that the attacking football sustainable. That Poch front line though, Kane, Lucas Moura, Dele Alli, Son, Dembele. Oh my, Dembele was a fantastic player. Huh? So you have Dembele. You don't sack your UCL final reaching manager unless you're Roman Abramovich. Yeah, fair enough. Kane, Son, Ali Eriksson, and Vantongen, Alderweireld, Trippier. Oh my God, Trippier was such a fantastic player at Spurs. Really fun thing to watch. I remember in 2017 they beat Madrid in Brussels both times. They were a fantastic team, Sam. I love watching them. In my opinion, this what Poch did with Spurs in 2016-17. That is one of the best achievements by any manager in the Premier League. Of course, people will talk about the title-winning teams and title-winning squad and the fact that Poch did not win a title at Spurs. But considering his wage bill and considering the type of team he grew, it was a fantastic achievement. Oh, that's right. Lewis family. Sunny. Thank you so much, Sunny. Yeah, it was a Lewis family. Vinny Venkatesham is Percy now, right? I think so. But yeah, that is in my opinion, that is the issue with Spurs. A lot of times, see, I keep coming back to this again and again. We spend too much time in micro analysis. A lot of time, what gives us answers is macro analysis. We can look at Carrick's four games right now and think that we are going to win the league or we are going to win the remaining 13 games. But if you consider the context, If you go back to last 1 year and check what has happened with Manchester United, it gives you more answers, right? Yeah, it is so sad, people. Yeah, I'm very sorry about that. Yeah, Lucas Moura is a fantastic player, no doubt about it. Uh, Lad our win against Spurs, but Sesko missing that sitter of a header ruined my mood. Someone please teach that man how to. It's okay, man. I mean, he's a young striker. He's a young striker. He was getting into the group, then he was benched, then he last and last week he scored a very important goal. That was a fantastic finish against Fulham. So no complaints, man. Don't be that greedy, man. Come on. According to you, who is a better player currently? Oli, so Yamal, in my opinion, it's Yamal. I can go on. See, yeah, Lamine Yamal is a natural talent, right? I love watching Yamal. I absolutely love watching him. So, in my opinion, see, if I have to talk about top five players in the world, uh, Mbappe definitely makes it. Harry Kane makes it. Yamal makes it. Vinny on his day is absolutely fantastic. So Vinny makes it on his day. Uh, Petri is fantastic, man. Petri is absolutely brilliant. I love Petri. Petri makes it. But yeah, and if someone says that Yamal is the best league player in the world right now, I mean, I'm not going to argue. Yamal is fantastic. I love watching him. And to have that assurance and that maturity at such a young age, it is quite something. Yeah, I absolutely love loving Yamal. No doubt about it. Only Brian Mbumo, that is true. Only Brian Mbumo, aka Drog Baba. Yeah, fantastic. What a player, man. What an absolutely player. Oh, I'm so sorry. I would put Vitinha in that list. PSG player has to be there. If there's one PSG player I need to, then it has to be Vitinha. I'm so sorry about this. Vitinha, man. Who else? I can't think of a player who's playing so. I can't think of a midfielder. Who is playing so well as Vitinha right now. Vitinha is fantastic, amazing player. Probably in top five. Yeah, I would put Vitinha over Pedri in that case. You guys are free to disagree and let me know what your views are. But yeah, Vitinha is fantastic. Guys, just 1 minute. Yeah, so sorry. And last but not the least, I wanted to talk. I did not want to start with Man United because then it becomes a Man United podcast, just like Gary Neville podcast. But I made a reel sometime back, and a few days, I think probably a couple of days back, I was just going through uh, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's season, as you do in 2018-19. And for some reason, I started counting games, the number of games, because I realized that Michael Carrick only had 17 games to prove himself, or 17 games to impress the United board. And the first 17 games for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. First one thing we need to consider that Solskjaer United was fighting or playing in three competitions at a time. We are playing in the FA Cup, playing in the Champions League, and of course we are playing in the Premier League. And in the first 17 games under Solskjaer, United won 40, drew 2, and lost only one game, that was against PSG at Old Trafford, which turned out to be a meaningless game because the game did not matter after what happened in Paris. And guess what? The game in Paris, that 3-1 game, was Solskjaer's 17th game. Michael Carrick only has 17 games this season. But after that 17 game, these idiots at Manchester United decided to give him a full-time contract, and our season turned to shit right after that wonderful night in Paris. Out of the remaining 12 games, we won only 2. We were out of the FA Cup. Wolves defeated us. Barca tonked us in the Champions League. And Duncan fucking Ferguson's Everton tonked us 4-0 in the league. It was horrible. City tonked us in the league. Right after that PSG game, we went to Arsenal, and I don't think we were that bad, but we lost 2-0, and we deserved to lose again. We lost 2-0. So this is something happened in the first 17 games of Manchester under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and right after that, the season turned to shit. Now just imagine, Michael Carrick has only 17 games right now. In those 17 games, United is not even playing each and every week. We are playing in one competition. I mean, we ought to be fresh. The players ought to be fresher. They need to have more energy. And considering the kind of football they used to play under Ruben Amorim, which was an atrocious brand of football. See, one thing I like about Ruben Amorim going is I don't have to keep defending himself anymore. That brand of football was absolutely atrocious. It was horrible. So after that, they have a huge rebound. I'm not saying they are winning only because of the rebound. Only because of the rebound. I'm not suggesting that, because Carrick sets up his teams really, really well. I don't think his football is reaction. I think Michael Carrick is a decent manager, but at the same time, the job at Manchester United is ridiculously tough. At the moment, Michael Carrick has support of every fucking supporter in the world. He's not under, see, I'm not saying he's not under any pressure right now, but he's not under the kind of pressure Ruben Amorim was for entirely different reasons. He has not been in this situation before. When we talk about Alex Ferguson, before Alex Ferguson joined Manchester United, he won the Cup Winners' Cup with Aberdeen, and he's still the last manager to beat Real Madrid in a European final in 1983. Michael Carrick does not have that experience. I mean, I will be more than happy if Carrick proves me wrong. Again, if United board decide to hire him, and if he proves me wrong, I'll be more than happy. But the Gulf, it's very difficult situation to assess. And the clowns who are managing Manchester United right now, I'm not really sure if they are capable of assessing that situation. They are just idiots, bunch of fucking idiots. They are the ones who decided to sign Ruben Amorim when he shouldn't have been here in the first place. So yeah, I mean, I'm very happy with Carrick. I hope we win all the remaining games, or remaining 13 games. I'll be very happy with that. But I'm not really sure what happens next season. I don't know how Carrick deals with the pressure of the Champions League football, or the pressure of being involved in. See, I don't want to talk about title this time, about being involved in 3 competitions, 4 competitions at a time. So yeah, it's, in my opinion, it's a very difficult, tricky situation to manage. And I realized this probably 3 4 years back, 3 4 days back. Yeah. Declan Rice, sorry, he has to be there. Oh, sorry, Sam, not for me. So, again, we have talked about this, right? Declan Rice, I think, is a fantastic player, but top 5 is slightly, in my opinion, slightly out of reach, in my opinion. My top 5 young and upcoming players of this group could be one of the great ones, and the list goes on, like Yamal, Arda, Rico Lewis. I actually like Rico Lewis. I seriously like Rico Lewis. Fernandez, Kendi Paes. Am I pronouncing that right? All right. Mountains for climbing planet. Yeah, it was one of the best nights in European football since Fergie's. No doubt about it. But in my opinion, that great night in Paris did more damage than good, because it damaged 2 clubs actually. First, when it comes to PSG, it sort of highlighted their club who bottles everything. Of course, they won the Champions League last season, so I don't want to call them bottlers. But during that time, they used to do that, right? They lost to Barcelona, then they lost to Manchester United. Manchester United had, I mean, it was quite clear that Manchester United, after Solskjaer's tenure, they're going to sign Mauricio Pochettino. That did not happen. Pochettino at Manchester United in 2019-20 would be an absolutely treat to watch. Again, I don't think United would have won the league, but he would have got the best out of that squad. And again, Solskjaer did a fantastic job with that squad, but I think Pochettino would have done better. Then it ruined Spurs. It completely ruined Spurs because Pochettino stayed for a couple of months and then he was sacked and they brought in Mourinho. And then the cycle started and here we are with Spurs. Sesko has so much pressure on him. He's 22 and is the sole striker of a European giant. It would be great if we could re-establish the old dynamic of Cavani, Ronaldo teaching Martial and Greenwood. I mean, see, he's a 22-year-old who's playing in probably the hardest league in Europe right now. So it is going to take him some time. He needs a run of games. You see, for any young striker who is struggling, and I don't think Sesko is even struggling. He did not. He missed that header, but before that, he scored 3-4 goals in 5-6 games. So this is a decent record for a striker who's playing in one of the hardest leagues in the world. So it's fine. He's 22, is young. It's not very old. He joined Manchester United this season, not before that. It's a difficult league to deal with. He is in a completely different country. He will need some time to settle. Maybe next season we'll have a better idea of what he can do. United should sign an experienced striker, but not next season as funds are needed for. Yeah, no doubt. Next season, we need to sign a midfielder. I don't give a shit. We need to sign a midfielder. When people say Carrick is Ole 2.0, it's because they are afraid of how Ole's time ended. Under Ole finished second, third, played a bunch of semi-finals and final. Yeah, agreed. I mean, Ole did a decent job at Manchester United. I mean, if you go to my Twitter account, there I've written threads and essays defending Ole. But at no point I felt that she should have been managing Manchester United. He shouldn't be here in the first. He shouldn't have been here in the first place. It is that simple. But again, he did a very good job. In 2020-21, United played some really good football, man. Really good football. If you think a short 1-2 year contract will do good to start with for Carrick, given no seasoned experienced manager is available. After the World Cup, there will be a lot of managers available, Sam. Because of what Carrick is doing, he's the best last-minute option for Rome. I mean, again, see, that's the tricky situation, right? Bayern Munich or someone like Bayern Munich, they decided to sign Vincent Kompany, and who is doing an excellent job at Bayern Munich, because they realized that Kompany to Bayern is a right fit. But Bayern is run by seasoned professionals who know what they are doing. What about United? We are run by a bunch of clowns. See, and what happens at times is I feel I get too harsh with United management as well, because there are a lot of players. See, we can't say that Jason Wilcox doesn't understand football. The guy is a Premier League winner. He won the Premier League with Blackburn Rovers. He was in that Leeds team that reached the Champions League semi-final. Guy, he has had a good footballing career at top level. So you can't say that he doesn't understand football. But I am not really sure if he is good at the job for which he is appointed. At Man City, he was into coaching. Then he was, I think, promoted to an executive position which involved youth team. As a director of football, I don't know if he is good. See, I'll tell you something. When, of course, like, even I ranted a lot about it. I mean, Reels, I had a live session about it. But when Jason Wilcox told Ruben Amorim that this is the kind of football you need to play, to be honest with you, for every footballing club, the director of football is the person who decides the kind of football your team is going to play. So if you think about it in a sort of in a different context, Jason Wilcox has every right to tell Amorim the kind of football he needs to play. It's that simple. But the way that entire bit transpired, because earlier he was Omar Barales. Later, it turned out Jason Wilcox took over. That confusion and that mismanagement is something that caused this entire issue. Otherwise, if we talk about pure footballing hierarchy or pure footballing structure, Jason Wilcox is well within his rights to tell the manager the kind of football the manager needs to play. And when it comes to football director, every football director has a huge say in the signing of the appointment of their new managers. At Manchester United, the structure is fucked. We don't know who is doing what, and that is the main issue at Manchester United, in my opinion. Yeah. So I hope Sam, you got your answer. I don't know. I just at times I just go off tangent. Hey Rohit, what similarities do you think you see between Ole Steiner and Carrick's current tenure with respect to team setup tactics? See, in my opinion, Solskjaer was a good manager. He was good in his in-game management, at least in his early days. If you recall, he started playing Lukaku on the right. And Lukaku had done that job in the World Cup for Belgium. So he started playing Lukaku on the right, and Lukaku did a good job on the right-hand side. If you watch the PSG game, in that particular game, what I remember from that game is we we got 2 goals, but by 80th minute, the score was 2-1. And in that 1 hour, the structure of that team, it was more like 5-4-1 or something like that, or 4-5-1. He realized that after scoring 2 goals, then the possibility, what he did in that game was, in my opinion, what he did was he decided to be patient, and in the last 10 minutes, he decided to throw the kitchen sink at it, and it worked. So he sensed that PSG might bottle it in the last 10 minutes, and this is exactly what they did. So his in-game management, a lot of times, was really good. But what he lacked, like a lot of managers did in that period, or even Frank Lampard lacked it at Chelsea, that did not have a structure of playing. They did not have a proper structure of playing. They did not have a proper coaching staff who could execute that. The likes of Pochettino did it. Poch did it, Pep did it, Klopp did it. Solskjaer did not. See, Solskjaer was managing a club in Norway. As much as love, see, absolutely love Solskjaer. If you ask me, who do you love more, Solskjaer or Carrick? I love Solskjaer. I'm a complete Solskjaer fanboy. I still think that the way Ole used to finish from the corners, from the angles, I think he was better at it than Manchester. I truly believe that. But when you are managing a club like Manchester United, you need players, or you need managers who are proven winners. And Solskjaer, even though in those 2 seasons he did a good job, his upper ceiling was not as high as other managers. With when it comes to Michael Carrick sets teams really well. Carrick, in my opinion, is not a reactionary manager. From what I've seen of him, I've only seen him manage 3 and 4, 7 games. I don't think he is not a reactionary manager. So that's a huge plus for Michael Carrick, in my opinion. And when it comes to managing, see, I like people who don't talk about the United way. As much as I love Solskjaer did not even want to park his car in Fergie's spot. I mean, that sort of thing is not going to help Manchester United managers. Manchester United managers need to be their own men. They cannot be in someone else's shadow. And I think Carrick, as a coach, he is his own man than Solskjaer is. Again, this is just my opinion. Completely agree with you, Mangesh, on Paris game working against us in the long run. I'm happy we lost Europa final last season. We would have given the board and fans also with Ruben. See, what happened last season was, if you watch, see, I watched one of the Borderland and Spurs game. It was semi-final. And what I realized is, uh, Ange, who had a dogmatic approach in the league, he decided to adapt in the Europa League. Something which Ruben Amorim did not do. He did not do that. And that became a huge problem for us. So again, I don't think we would have won against Spurs and see, Spurs defeated us 4 times last season. That's not a coincidence, right? That's no coincidence. Yeah, I'm sure, man. What's happening? Real won 2-0 against Valencia, right? How was the game? Also, a lot of them say Ole was good because of Mekon. See, people are going to talk shit. Let's get that. All of us who are watching this are the coaches who coach football teams. They understand football 100 times better than all of us combined. We are never going to reach that level ever. What we can do is we can watch it, we can observe it, and we can try to give a logical conclusions based on what we see or based on data. I mean, the talks of, oh, Ole was good only because of McKenna, these talks are pure bullshit. Just ignore that. I always ignore that. I chose Carrick over Ole because Carrick offers structure, tactical control. Exactly. He offers structure. He offers proper structure. He is not reactive, and his in-game management, while Ole relied more on momentum and individual moments. See, Ole was decent in in-game management. Okay. I think Ole was decent in in-game management, but I think Carrick is better in that respect. Currently, what United need is a direction and not 100%. 100%, Shiva. We need direction, not a nostalgia percent. 100%. Yeah, of course, I get that, you. I know that Ole was a fantastic footballer. He was a fantastic footballer. If you just in case any of you, if you have not seen Solskjaer as a player, just go watch his goals. He was a fantastic finisher. If you have see, Van Nistelrooy will always be regarded as a better player, but Ole Gunnar Solskjaer finishing, pure finishing. I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was a better finisher than Van Nistelrooy. Van Nistelrooy was always a better striker. But if you see Ole's goals from the corners, I mean, pure poetry. It's amazing, absolutely brilliant. Do you think Ole has a better player at his disposal compared to Carrick? Uh, Carrick has good players right now. I think this Manchester United team is fantastic. It's a fantastic team. It's not good enough to win the league, but it's still a fantastic player. We have Bruno Fernandes. We have Kobe Mainoo, who is one of the best young midfielders in the league for sure. You have Brian Mbumo and Cunha. Both are Premier League proven players, and they have taken that step up. In defense, I think Lisandro Martinez is fantastic. I'm a huge Licha fan. So you have that. You have Delict. Of course, he's injured right now, but you have Delict. You have Casemiro, one of the greatest midfielders in the history of the game. Of course, he's not at his best right now, but Casemiro is just a brilliant player. Just ignore what that idiot Jamie Carragher says about him. Casemiro, in my opinion, is not the greatest midfielders of all time. So this team is really good. Ole ended because of his transfers he got in the end. He was building something and needed minor changes. He had system. Agree. I mean, that's the thing with Ronaldo, right? Ever since his spell at Real Madrid in 2018, he's been able to break every team he has played in. See, I'm not saying whatever happened with Juventus was only because of Ronaldo, but it was a start. Because Ronaldo did not press. So others had to do a lot of pressing for him. And when you're playing in the modern structure, that was never going to work. So Ronaldo got goals for Juventus, but the team's overall goals decreased. Same happened at Manchester United, and at least at Juventus that happened. I think at least for a couple of seasons. At United that happened right away. So I mean, and the thing was, Ronaldo was supposed to go to Man City, but at the time, Sterling's move to Barcelona failed. That and it was made clear to Ronaldo that he was not going to start each and every game. And this is something Laurie Whitwell reported. So yeah, this is from a reliable source. I think this is something even Miguel Delaney reported. So this is from reliable sources. I'm not sure if you are able to see comments. Hey Red Rain, what's happening, man? I think last decade was positional football heavy, build-ups from goalkeeper tiki-taka, spearheaded by Pep. Now with direct attack and man-marking football is where Carrick performed better. And this is a very good point, actually. This is a very good point. But see, there is no way of knowing if Carrick. I'm not saying Carrick will be a failure at Manchester United, but this is like Schrodinger's cat, right? You don't know what we are going to get. We simply don't know what we're going to get because the data set of 17 games is not huge. I don't think it is. Thank you. I don't think it's a big enough data set to make right assessments. And considering the clowns who are in charge of the club, I'm not really sure if this is. I'm really not sure what's going to happen. Yeah, this is a good point actually. But again, uh, Carrick does not rely on just counter attacks, right? So Carrick would have thrived anyway, in my opinion. Okay, so Valencia Real Madrid game. It was a good game, just got the result. Mbappe did not play well. The wingers weren't available. The only good thing was that Train came back and made some great passes. Oh, that's nice. That's nice to know. Casemiro plus. See, United need at least two midfielders at any cost. We need two midfielders. If we are going to sign Tonali, nothing like it. I absolutely love Tonali. You need Tonali, absolutely brilliant. So if we get some, see, I'm starting to get greedy now. But if we get Tonali and Anderson, amazing. I am a huge fan of Adam Wharton, but I'm not really sure if we'll get him. But we need two midfielders, no two ways about it. We need two midfielders. We have to break the bank to sign Tonali, to be very honest. But there is a good chance that we'll play in the Champions League next season. It helps us financially. So yeah, asking this since as far as I know, Sirs Fergie brand football was man marking counter attack style. But see, it wasn't just counter attacking football. United were fantastic counter attacking team. Make no mistake. But it wasn't just counter attack. United could pass. United controlled games. United had Michael Carrick, Paul Scholes, and before that we had Roy Keane. So we, over the space of 93 to 2013, in 20 years, we had three players who could control games. We had Darren Fletcher. His peak lasted only for a couple of years, and then he had ulcerative colitis. But Darren Fletcher could control games, man. So it wasn't just counter attack. United could control games. United had a lot of players who could pass. Randix was a good passer, by the way. He was a fantastic passer. So it wasn't just counter attack. What Ferguson was good at, there are a lot of things Fergie was good at, but what Ferguson was good at is doing a job to a particular player, like marking Pirlo. And he did such a brilliant job that Pirlo even talked about it. Pirlo still talks about it. He talked about it in his autobiography. So yeah. Thoughts on Glazers trying to own RCB? To be very honest, I couldn't care less about IPL. But yeah, Glazers in cricket is bad. It's not like I'm a huge RCB fan or something like that. I barely watch IPL, to be very honest. But I don't want a cricket team from our country uh, being owned by these leeches. Absolutely no, big no to that. Big no. The end time Lemon Street probably saved our season to be good. Fair enough. This has been a great deal. This has been a really good deal. Make no mistake. I think they should bring Luka Modric. See, I would take Luka Modric on one leg in a heartbeat. We should get him. We should get him. I don't care. We should get him. But just because he's doing well in Italian football, I'm not really sure if he'll do well. And that has nothing to do with ability, but just because of his age, the pace of the league, the intensity. But again, Luka Modric is probably, in my opinion, the best midfielder in the past 10 or 15 years. Is that good? I would take Luka Modric in a heartbeat. Guys, just give me a moment. With the introduction of CR7, you have to change. Don Carlos said it's simple. He has 60 goal assists every season. Who am I to tell how to play high? But that's the thing, right? When Don Carlo managed him, that was back in 2013-14. I mean, consider back in 2022, even Carlo won't be able to manage him because he gives you that headache. At Ronaldo at his best is one of the greatest players of all time, but he is not tactically flexible. He has never been tactically flexible, especially in the last 10 years. No, but that's what I'm saying, right? Even see, a manager like Allegri could not manage Ronaldo well. So Allegri is no dummy. I don't think Carlo would have been able to manage Ronaldo of last 5 years. I don't think that would have happened. Anuj, come on, man. Come on, man. Let's not do this. No, let's not do this. I'm reading your comment. Unpopular opinion. I wouldn't mind Southgate manager. Oh no, no, man. No, no. Big no to Southgate. Big no to Southgate. We need proven managers, man. Southgate. The last time Southgate managed in the Premier League was back in 2018-19, and he got Borough relegated. I'm not saying Southgate was the only reason they got relegated. And to be fair to him, Southgate, Borough in 2007, 8, and 8, 9 played some decent football. Huh? They played decent football. But come on, let's not kid ourselves. Southgate to Manchester United is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. I can't stand it. I will not be able to stand it at all. So yeah, big no to Southgate. I'm very sorry, but no, man, not going to happen. I told my wife one place this I said, I think they were laughing stocks for before last two seasons, right? So it will be again back to where they were. It's the same with Mbappe, Vinny, and they don't press, which led to Xavi sacking. Yeah, fair enough. Vinny used to press before Mbappe. All right. All right, guys. If there is nothing and nothing else, okay, we'll try to do a watch along. No, we are definitely doing watch along tomorrow for United game. We'll try to do a watch along for the Spanish League games on the weekend. I'm not really sure right now, but I'll try my best. So this is for Anshul and all you guys. We'll try to do that. And yeah, see you tomorrow. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you have a good time. And yeah, I'll see you tomorrow. This is our third live stream in 3 days. So you can see we have started doing more live streams. So a request to you, please share our channel with people who like football. Please help us in some way. And yeah, we are in a process of sort of we are in a transition process right now. Let's say that. And yeah, just Please help us out. And thank you so much, guys. I'll see you soon. Bye.